Hi, Dr. J here. I want to continue our conversation with respect to wellness and health and fulfillment and how all those things come from you and not to you. And I think one of the things that is vastly overlooked in achieving fulfillment, joy, health, love, great relationships, whatever the case may be, is the role of forgiveness. See, you have to recognize that you're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect, and no one else around you is perfect. And the sooner that you can embrace that fact, the sooner that you can acknowledge that you're never going to be, this perfect thing, this perfect image, the more it's going to, or the sooner it's going to actually release you from trying to be perfect and have it try to, create this image. You have to learn to embrace your faults. Embrace where you're weird. Embrace where you're quirky. Embrace the fact that, God made you a certain way, and darn it, just be proud of that. It doesn't have to be what the rest of the world tells you should be, but you have to really just embrace the fact that there's certain parts of you that just aren't going to be perfect, never going to be perfect, but that you are actually perfectly created. Okay, get the difference there? You're never going to be perfect, but you are perfectly created. And you're perfectly created with a set of gifts that will allow you to achieve, allow you to have the life that you're looking for, achieve the things that you're looking to do in your life that's really for you to accomplish and not for anyone else. And the reality of it is this, is when you can acknowledge past hurts that others may have done to you or that you did to others, when you can acknowledge and be truthful and be humble and transparent enough to recognize where you may have had shame, guilt, you may have done things to others that you weren't proud of. When you can acknowledge those things, they stop having control over you. They stop creating emotional weight in your life as well. And I want you to think of those things like a backpack, or think of your life like an empty backpack. And every time you have guilt, every time you have shame, every time that you feel like you were at fault or you hurt someone, and you know deep down that you did, and you don't acknowledge it, and you don't forgive yourself or forgive the other person involved, it's like adding a heavy rock to that backpack. And as the course of life goes on, we just keep on adding more and more rocks to that backpack. And over time, it gets so heavy that you're exhausted. I mean, imagine walking around every day with a 75, 100-pound backpack and trying to do everything that you're trying to do in your life. You'd be fatigued, you'd be exhausted. See, the same thing happens on an emotional level when you don't forgive. And you first have to forgive yourself. And, a personal, very transparent story I can share with all of you is, for the longest time, I used achievement to really push me or propel me. I used anything I ever heard, whether it was true or just rumor or gossip of things that people may have said that I couldn't do or I couldn't accomplish or I couldn't achieve. I used it as fuel. I used that to really push me to different levels, things that myself or my family had never seen or experienced. I wanted to use that as a way to continue to propel me into the world of success by the world standards. And you know what? Honestly, it served me to a certain point in my life. It really did. That chip on my shoulder, if you will, kind of served me. And very few people knew that I actually carried these chips. People that were really close to me did. They knew that I would use these motivation, this internal fire to keep pushing me to succeed when, others may have thought I wouldn't have. And it wasn't until my early 30s that I had an opportunity to be with a very wise person. And this person took us through a various exercise which we were climbing a mountain, actually. And afterwards, he asked us a question: what did the mountain teach you? And I raised my hand first, right, because I wanted to be the first with the most insightful comment. And I said, well, it taught me that, I really want to achieve, and I wanted to be the first up the hill, and I wanted to be the first up the mountain, and I wanted to do it the best. And, he pointed out some points, and he was like, yeah, clearly, you were physically the most fit person, but you constantly were asking for reinforcement from the coaches and people around you. And why is that? And for whatever reason, at that moment, I was open to letting all this stuff out. 30 years of just stuff stuck inside me. And I started bawling like a baby. And I said, because on some level, I don't feel I'm good enough. And I recognized through deeper discussion that there was some different stories that I had, some different events where I was shameful of myself, I was shameful of my family, I was upset, I was angry, I had done some things that I wasn't proud of. And I had never acknowledged those for 30 some odd years. And after that, I chose to first forgive myself for some of these actions. And then immediately, when I came home after this retreat, I sat my mom down and I talked to my mom and I apologized for an event that happened, 20 years ago. But it still was somewhere deep inside me. It was holding me back. And after I was able to first acknowledge that, embrace the fact that I wasn't proud of certain actions that I did, I wasn't proud of certain ways I was handling myself, and even certain things that I had done or said to my family, it was amazing how that no longer had power over me. I was literally actually taking the rocks out of my backpack. And from that point forward, I actually switched. My mind switched. I started focusing on what do I want to do, what do I want to accomplish, what do I want to be for the good of others, but also because it's really inside of me. I stopped doing it for other people. It wasn't about that chip on the shoulder anymore. It wasn't about succeeding just so I could say, yeah, I did it. It was about really living a fulfilled life, a life of love, a life of service. But the moment I was able to get rid of that hurt, the moment I was able to get rid of that shame, the moment I was able to get rid of that anger, man, it's like shackles came off of me. And it's amazing how the relationships in my life started to improve. All relationships, family, friends, everything. So in closing this week, I really would like for you to focus, push yourself. Look deep inside your heart, look deep inside your past. And are there areas in your life where you knew that you didn't show up the way you wanted to? Maybe you hurt yourself, maybe you hurt others. And I'm going to encourage you first to forgive yourself and take time to recognize that, that just was who you were at that time, but it doesn't need to be who you are moving forward. And then also bring in people that you may have hurt. Reach out to them. And even if they're not ready to hear it, reach out to them and apologize for who you were or what you did to them. Because you deep down, until you get rid of that, it will hold you captive and it will limit your ability to truly be happy, fulfilled, and at peace on any other level or any other dimension in life. So again, I hope that these words in my personal experiences can help bless you this week and for many weeks to come. Again, please, if this is something that touches you or you think is impactful, please share it with others. The vision is to truly try to help, to inspire, to motivate, to educate others so we can really grow as a community, whether it be here in my city or people I'll never meet, to really make a difference in their own life first and then in others' lives as well. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.